We know that nonprofits are under constant pressure to do more with less, balancing impact, compliance, and efficiency. And today's session is all about how Foxit can help simplify document workflows so your teams can spend less time on admin and more time on your mission. So I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping before we get going. So before we begin, so today's session is being recorded. So we'll share the recording with you after the webinar. All attendees are currently muted, so that's to avoid background noise as well. That's just how the presentation is. If you do have any questions at any point, please submit them using the Q&A tab at the bottom of your Zoom screen. We'll be keeping a close eye on those and we'll answer as many as we can either in chat or towards the end. When you leave the session, there will be an option to leave feedback. So please take a moment to leave us some feedback as it really greatly improves our sessions. And like I said, we'll try and use the chat to answer questions mid-presentation when we can, but there'll be time for a little bit of a Q&A at the end. And during the session, the team from Foxit will provide the presentation, and at the end, we'll move over to the Q&A and questions may be answered during that time. So today, I'm very pleased to be joined by Kai, Paul, and Nicholas, who will be walking us through Foxit and its real-world use cases. So with that, I'll pass over to you, Kai. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'll go ahead and share my screen here. So yeah, our goal here today is to give you just a quick introduction of just who is Foxit, but then very quickly turn the corner into actually showing you the product, or at least our experiences is that you don't want to hear that much from me. You really want to see what these products are about to give you a feeling for whether or not this is a viable alternative to, of course, Adobe Acrobat as well as DocuSign. So let's get right into it. We find the use cases are really throughout organizations, whether or not it's sales, marketing, finance, legal, product management. There are lots of opportunities, not just to edit files, but as you can see, lots and lots of eSign use cases as well. And so we'll be highlighting a little bit of that today. And we find that especially in the nonprofit world, whether or not it's legal services or logistics, healthcare, education, just lots of opportunity where organizations just need to be a little bit more efficient in as they work with documents, but also agreements. Now, of course, the big question is well, why Foxit? What makes us so special here? Not just that we're partnering with TechSoup, but what's the point and where's the value here? And a key ingredient certainly is that these are simple annual subscriptions that you can sign up for at a reasonable cost, but also you can add licenses anytime to that subscription. It's automatically co-termed to your original subscription terms. So meaning if you add a license 6 months after you signed up for that first license, then you'll only be charged half the price for the rest of the time. And then when it comes time to renew, everything is co-termed automatically, so you don't have to spend a bunch of time monitoring multiple subscriptions. There'll always only be one. And then what do you get? Well, you not only get, of course, a PDF editor and an eSign solution, but you also get an admin console. This is great for small or even large teams that has single sign-on support. That makes license management super simple. No licenses ever stuck with the user or with the device. And from a look and feel perspective, you'll see this later, everything's packaged into one user interface. So both your PDF editing and eSign is all in one place. How much is it? Well, I've got US dollar pricing here. The PDF editor is $49.99 a year. From a pound sterling perspective, look for about 40 pounds. And if you go to, from a euro perspective, about 45 euro. And then there's a second product, which is the eSign business product. We'll get into what are the differences between these two and all that, and of course, as we do the live demos. But here's sort of the quick feature highlight. The PDF Editor Plus is a package of multiple solutions. You get the PDF editor, but it will work on a Windows PC. It'll work on a Mac. You get to install the software on up to 2 devices, but you also get browser-based access as well as mobile apps. So really, whatever device you've got, you'll be able to use it. So we see, especially in nonprofits, a lot of people have Chromebooks. So the Android version can work there, or the browser-based version, depending on what kind of Chromebook you've got. But in addition to that, you do get Foxit eSign Essentials, so a full digital signature solution. You can send up to 150 envelopes per year. An envelope is essentially a business transaction between parties. So it doesn't matter how many people are signing, doesn't matter how many documents or how many pages. You get to do that 150 times per user per year. But in fact, these are shared. So meaning if you buy two licenses, then two users will share 300 of these envelopes. Doesn't matter if one uses 290 or when the other one just five. And then if you run out, no problem. Buy another license. That will add 150 to the pool for any of the users to share. For those of you that have to protect personal identity information, there's AI-based redaction built into the product. If you're doing a lot of redaction, this is definitely worth checking out. And this is something that Adobe doesn't have at all, just to give you a little bit of differentiation there between the two. In addition to that, the Foxit AI Assistant is there. You get to use 20 prompts a month. This adds GPT-4 level AI to the product, so you can do things like summaries and rewrites and Q&A with documents and so on. And as mentioned, the Foxit admin console is there. A couple of critical purchasing details is, as mentioned, about $50 a year. Of course, local currency wherever you are around the world. One thing that's really important, I know we posted the link in the chat to the purchase on our website, but you really want to use the link on the TechSoup website to the Foxit online store. That's a special link. That's the link you've got to click to buy these online, these nonprofit versions. And one other thing that's important is you only need one coupon code from TechSoup. Doesn't matter how many users you're signing up. Let's say you have 10 users, you do not need 10 coupon codes. You need one coupon code per subscription with no limit to the users. So that's an important thing because we've noticed some folks buying multiple coupon codes, and that is not necessary. All right, so finally, there is Foxit eSign Business. For those of you that have advanced eSign needs, maybe 150 envelopes is fantastically too little. Well, eSign Business gives you not only unlimited envelopes, but also unlimited eSign templates. So for those of you that might have been a heavy DocuSign user, this can be fantastic since there are no limitations, but you also get advanced eSign functionality. I'm not going to get into these details since we're doing a live demo a little bit later. But there are purchasing details here also that are important to be aware of, and that is this product does have a 2-user minimum. So be aware of that. So we're really spending $240 for 2 users per user per year. And of course, the same rules apply. One coupon code is enough for this product. And definitely you must use the link from the TechSoup site to buy this product. Do not go straight to the Foxit website to try to buy it. You'll find the coupon code doesn't work. So start with TechSoup. All right, finally, here's our logo slide. Great. Logo slides are boring, right? So why is this here? Just to give you a quick insight into that every one of you is a Foxit user today. We started off in 2001 as a software development toolkit company. One of those early products was a software development toolkit for PDF files. And we sold them to companies that you've heard of, like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, who have then embedded our technology into their products. So let's say you're in the Chrome browser or the Edge browser, and you choose to click on a PDF file. It renders that PDF directly in the browser using Foxit technology. Same is true on the Amazon Kindle. So from that perspective, billions of people use Foxit technology every day, including everyone here on this call. So finally, who is Foxit? We're a global company. We're headquartered in Fremont in California. About 1,000 employees, hundreds of thousands of customers, but lots and lots of users. And so that gives you that quick outlook here. Support, by the way, is available 24/7 around the globe with offices in Europe, in the US, but also in Asia. So wherever you are, there is a support tech near you to help you out if there are any questions. And that already took longer than I really wanted to, so let's quickly turn this over to Paul to give us an overview of just exactly what does that PDF editor look like.
Thanks, Kai. Welcome, everyone. Uh, my name is Paul Rocks. I am a solutions engineer for the region. And so my job is to answer all technical queries, provide demonstrations, kind of like what we're doing today, and sort of look after all technical aspects of what we would call a proof of concept and sort of get you sort of, let's say, from a starting position to a position where Foxit is doing everything that you need to do during that procedure. So I am going to run us through a little demonstration of the desktop editor, which we're going to, so let's say, focus most of our time on. And because we are stuck for time today, I am going to set a timer so we don't go over go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trans over to the stage where we're completing the document stuff for the eSign over to Nicholas. So I am going to share my screen. So I will just ask for just confirmation that you can see the screen. It should be sharing about now.
Yep, we see it.
Lovely. Perfect. So we are going to focus on the desktop editor today. But as Kai alluded to earlier on, okay, Foxit is not just a desktop editor, it is a suite of products. And we have means of centrally controlling the editor for you, okay? And so I'm going to start there very quickly first, just to give you a taster of how this works. So this, you can probably see the screen come in, is our admin console. So it allows administrators to control everything. And as you can see from this welcome screen here, you can see we can control licenses, the eSign envelopes, the redact documents. It also gives you metrics for the active users that are using the portal. So you've got complete control of everything, and it gives you metrics on everything that you're using. Just to follow up on what Kai alluded to, I'm going to show you, so our flagship product is what we would call Editor Plus. Editor Plus consists of a license, which will license either a Windows or a Mac version of the software which sits on your desktop. So we're going to be demonstrating that very quickly after we get off after we show you just very quickly through this little section. There's also a cloud editor. Uh, there is also a mobile version which will sit on either your iOS or your Android device. And then there's the eSign envelopes. And you may see down here on the left-hand side, there's the eSign for Business, which Nicholas is going to be covering off for you. So you may be going, hey, not really interested in anything here. We just need a desktop editor, but there are reasons why you would want to use these. But you might be thinking, well, how do we switch these off if we don't need them? Everything is controllable from the portal. There's a feature settings option here. And to deactivate any of the features or enable them for specific users, I just tick these boxes here. And if I go back in here, people say, well, where do I get all the downloaders? How do I access everything? All you do is you hover over the icon for the product that you wish to use. Click on the icon here and you'll have options there for the exe files. The zip file will contain the MSI file that you need. License allocation could be done automatically or via invitation. So you can synchronize this up with your Microsoft Azure AD or your Okta, whatever identity access management platform that you are using. So just a little segue there. Okay, so we're going to focus on the Windows version of the editor today, but we have parity across the products. And so what I mean by that is that all of the features are located in the same areas in each instance of the software as they are the others. So what I mean by that is the home ribbon, whether if you're using the cloud version of the software, it's in the same location. And I can just show you that very quickly. We're not going to focus on it, but I just want to show you what I'm actually alluding to here. So this is the cloud version of the editor. So you can see the home ribbon is here. If I go back up to the desktop version, the home ribbon is here. Convert is here. Convert is here. Edit, edit, organize, organize, comments, comments, etc., etc. All right. So we've just done a little segue, but I hope that was useful for you. Okay, if you have any questions about any of that, please put them into the chat. And what we'll do is now is we will focus specifically on the editor tool because I think that's what we really want to deal with today. So this is the Foxit desktop editor. And we believe it's a great tool for replacing Adobe because, first of all, it's Microsoft sort of friendly ribbon. So anyone who's familiar with Microsoft Office already is not going to be sort of put out by this. They're going to find it very familiar. So clicking in the interface ribbon here, everything is self-explanatory. So convert, well, that's where the conversion happens. We can convert to PDF from different sort of settings here. We can pull in from paper documents as well, from clipboard. You can see here, there's an option here to combine files. And if we have a PDF open and we decide we need to convert it back to Office format, no problem. We can do it from multiple different ways, but from the ribbon, this is where we'll access it. And we can export back out to image file. All the supported formats are listed there. HTML should we wish to. And we can convert back to different format text files. So from rich text, plain text to accessible text. So editing, again, self-explanatory. This will be where the editing functionality sort of rolls from. We have a few value adds that Adobe doesn't have. First one being the ability to link and join text blocks. So we can separate sort of the text blocks if they're flowing in one direction and break them out to make the formatting a bit easier. We also have the ability to utilize reflow editing. So reflow editing will allow you to edit the document in reflow editing mode the same way that Microsoft Word works. So the organizing, this is where all the page arrangements happen. In this menu, you'll also see the options for the ability to add watermarks. So if you have any specific logos in relation to what you're using for your organization, they can be applied to the documents. Backgrounds can also be added, let's say for stationery templates, and also headers and footers for page numbering. Commenting. So this refers to markup. This is something which is common across all PDF tools, the ability to sort of comment and mark up and collaborate on a document. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 different markup options available for you to use there, including stamps. Stamps are handy. You may have organizational stamps that you wish to use, and these can be applied from here. We have default ones built in, which will sit there, but you can also add your own custom made ones, which maybe utilize your own organizational branding from here. And here's the view. Forms can be created from here. The key button here is the ability to run form field recognition. Those of you who are familiar with forms will know what this does. It'll turn a static form into a dynamic form. It will allow you to import and export field data out of the form. The protect ribbon. So for organizations, maybe especially charity ones these days, GDPR and data sensitivity are becoming more and more important. So we have the ability to redact documents from here. We also have a smart redact tool, which goes beyond, above and beyond the manual redaction, okay, which is something specific to Foxit. And then the traditional ones, so if you need to secure the document, you can add passwords. You can also add certificate protection and security policies. Something we're getting asked about an awful lot more these days is, can we integrate with Purview so you can enforce sensitivity labels? The answer is yes, you can. There's a sensitivity button here. You will connect into your Microsoft Azure Information Protection, which is now called Purview, and that will allow you to use those profiles on your documents. Now, one of the things we get asked a lot about is when we're doing a POC is, for the most part, change is not good. People have been using software for a long time and they're not really happy to move along to something else. And a lot of people say, well, we're a bit worried it'll be just too difficult for people to adopt. It's not the case with Foxit. Why? First of all, people are familiar with using PDF already. So they will be performing the same operation with Foxit as they are with their previously sort of used tool. So they will be converting, they'll be editing, they'll be organizing, and they'll be marking up. So let's have a look at how it works, an example. Okay, so for example, I have the Foxit tool here. I know how something works in Adobe. What do I do to see how it works in Foxit? So there is a very comprehensive help manual. Never Google anything with Foxit because the manual is the most comprehensive guide you will need. You can see here there's online tutorials which will take you to our video database. There's about 30 odd videos which cover everything. If I click on the start menu here, you can see there's a video tutorial section which covers the basics, including editing, scanning and recognizing, organizing, exporting, all the key items. And in the user manual, so it is about 500 pages long, so you are not going to need to read it. And there's no reason to, because there's a search tab, which you can see I've just clicked on here at the moment. Now, I'm going to search the manual for specific items, just to show you how the feature works. So you'll never need to get bogged down if you're looking for a feature in Foxit. If I click on the advanced search, toolbar will load up on the right-hand side. And let's say, for example, I know where headers and footers are in Adobe. How do I find them in Foxit? Just type in the word you're looking for. The first item found is always in the index. I click on the index, it'll take me to the tutorial. Now I know how to do the adding of the headers, but there's quicker shortcuts there as well too. So if we come back up to the search bar and click in here, I can actually type in the feature I'm looking for. Foxit will find it for you. So anything you're looking for within the application is easily accessible from here. Let's say, for example, if I was looking for the word count, there's a word count. If I want to look for the word count, it'll just pull up there. Really difficult to get lost in Foxit if you're using these items here. Let's have a look at an example of how it all ties in. So this is a conversion. I've got a little TIFF file here. I'm using this because it's got text and a diagram, and I want to import them into Foxit. Very straightforward to do. All I do is just drop and drag in. So that's the file. Now, you may notice that it is a print file because it's come in skewed. Obviously, the levels on the actual multifunction device weren't set, so it's come in at an angle. That's not a problem for Foxit because as part of the OCR process, it'll deskew the document for you. So if I click on the option here to recognize the text, there's multiple different language formats supported, everything from Arabic to Vietnamese. And if we click on OK, the OCR process will begin. Now keep an eye on the document. So when it completes, it will straighten the document out. There you go. And now we have an OCR document which is searchable. So if I click on a new search in here now, because I have this document open, it'll search the PDF that I've just added here. So we'll just keep it simple and we'll look for the word system. So Foxit will find all instances of the word there. Let's have a look at something a little bit more complex. So on a working day, this is probably something that you'll see, you're more likely to see. So you'll have a folder which has got multiple different file formats in it. You'll have an Excel, Word, PowerPoint, maybe a text file. There's an email there as well. And then there is just a PDF file. And we need to combine those files. Easiest way to do it, there's several ways to do it, but from this menu here, we can right-click on the selections and then click on the option to combine files in the Foxit PDF editor. The selections will load. So there's a menu here, so I can do more configurations here. I'm going to click on the settings here to add a table of contents. And if I need to change the order of the layout, I can move files up or down, and I can add more files from here as well. I'll click on Combine. And then the combination process will begin. Now, the way Foxit works is it'll read through all of the files. You can see there that you have the ability to choose pages should you wish to as well. So which means that you can sort of extract pages and you get thumbnail views of everything. There's also a thumbnail view in the menu which you can utilize as well. So Foxit will OCR all of the different supported file formats. Just to remind you again, there's a text file, PDF, email, PowerPoint, Excel, and a Word document. Here's the completed file here. So the table of contents corresponds to the bookmarks panel here. Each separate file name is being added as a bookmark, and these are clickable. So it'll take me to that location there. If we need to make page organizations, there's a thumbnails view here, which corresponds with the organize menu. And if we need to do any further page edits, we can do it from here. So if I wanted to come up here and click on the edit menu, let me just make the page a little bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. So if I come up here, I need to make a little text edit. Let's say I wanted to change that there. I'm just going to do something simple like that. Just add an S. Let's make that a bit bigger. Then I can just return it to the normal view. That's how easy it is to edit a file in Foxit. So I can clear the space out too by clicking on these little arrows here, just so I can have more space, and I can expand them out should I need to. And let me just show you one more thing. So the protect ribbon, let's say, for example, we had to redact the document. I'm going to showcase to you our Smart Redact tool before I hand it over to Nick. So standard redactions are here, but this is something that we do, which is a little bit different. I'm just going to save the file down first. So the Smart Redact tool, it just works on documents of any size. And so if I click on the item here and go to the item to Smart Redact, there's an auto redaction option. So the Smart Redact tool loads up here. It will scan the document according to these parameters, everything from addresses, blood types, international banking account numbers, variants, UK passport numbers. All I need to do is click on scan. It will identify anything which can potentially compromise the person in terms of identity. So everything from person's roles to locations. I'm simply going to check all the options here. Foxit will load them up. If we need to review these with anyone's, they get loaded as comments here temporarily on the left-hand side until they're confirmed. We can review them. I'm simply going to apply here and click on OK. Now, normally at this stage, so this is kind of a very, very brief overview, okay, of how we would edit a document and get it up to speed. And then in terms of, let's say, pre-deployment, once the document is normally redacted, at that stage, then it is normally good for an eSign process. And at this stage here, this is where I would normally hand over to you, Nick. So you can pick up from here and just run us through the eSign part of the equation, please.
Perfect. Thank you, Paul. Before I get started, can I get a quick time check?
We're 15:29.
No, I know. How much longer do I have to
you're
demo
15 minutes.
from
You're
one of
15 minutes.
from
You're
one of the
15
businesses?
minutes.
Okay, cool. All right, folks, I'm gonna share my screen with you, just so I can show you what the online platform looks like for Foxit, eSign. Based on what Paul showed, you may have seen that there's the ability to do all of this from within the PDF editor. But if you've used DocuSign in the past, you are used to seeing it this way in the web platform. Your users will be the same way. Most people that use DocuSign use it within their web app. So that's what I'm going to show you today for eSign. So in Foxit eSign, and Paul introduced that and Kai introduced that, eSign is a platform through which you can send contracts, agreements, other paperwork out for signing by multiple people in what we would call a signature process. The advantage here is that the recipient will not require any type of signing software or even a printer and a scanner to sign manually. They'll be able to sign using our software through a link that you will send them, right? So the platform itself is quite simple. There are mainly two things that you can do from there. One is manage your documents, right? So over here, I can look at documents that are waiting for me to sign, documents that I sent that are waiting for other people to sign, and obviously your drafts and your completed documents. But for today, I think the most interesting thing to show is how to send a document, a contract, an agreement out for signing, right? And that is as easy as just going to Foxit PDF editor, clicking on the request signature button, and sending it for signing from there. Or you can come to the web app and either upload the file or leverage one of the templates that you or another one of your users may have set up previously. The advantage of templates is that you get to skip a lot of the preparation steps. Templates are good for non-disclosure agreements and other documents that are repetitive in form, and where the only thing that truly changes from send to send is the recipients, right? The terms really don't change. You could think about what that looks like in your own environments. But for everything else, all ad hoc documents, then uploading from here would be the way to go about it. An important thing to take into consideration here is that Foxit eSign will take in whatever file you have, Word files, Excel files, PowerPoint files, JPEG files, obviously also PDF files. Sorry, it logged me out due to inactivity. So let me try again. Here we go. And everything will be converted to a PDF. Why does it get converted to a PDF? It's simply more secure for electronic signing, right? Here, you'll see this simple four-step process. The first stage is building your envelope. And the envelope, I think Kai described it best earlier as a commercial transaction, right? So this is a contract, and a contract may include several documents. So here's where you would build it. You have the ability to add a document, either another document from your desktop or choosing a template from what we spoke about before. If this is the only document you want to send in the envelope, then you simply click next. And here you're just determining who the signers or who the members that will take part in the signing process will be. In this case, I can just add myself. I can look up my colleague Paul. If I needed to add someone new, I don't think Kai is in my address book, so I'm not going to be able to find them, but I can add his contact to my address book. Right. Phone number is optional. Phone number is useful if you are going to be sending two-factor authentication codes, like SMS codes, to verify the identity of the signer. But the only thing that is truly required is first name, last name, and email ID, right? There's the ability to create a signing sequence. If I disable this, everyone will be able to sign in parallel at the same time. If I enforce a signing sequence, we make it so I'll have to sign first, then Paul, then Kai, right? I can also play with the stages, and I can say that I sign first, but then Paul and Kai can sign in parallel by setting them up in the same stage. A lot of flexibility here. At the same time, there's the ability to set up, like I spoke about before, two-factor authentication codes sent via email or SMS or a phone call. And then there's also the ability to collect in-person signatures. You can set up certain signers as in-person signers who don't necessarily have to have an electronic device in order to be able to sign. They can just sign on a tablet or desktop computer that the signing agent will be able to pass control over of during the signing process, right? There's also different sets of permissions. So in some cases, you'll need someone to simply fill out some fields, but not actually sign, or only receive a copy of the signed agreement at the end, but don't really need to be part of the signing process otherwise. We have the permissions for those, right? In this case, I'll simply move guide to a CC view only role, just so I can show you. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit save and next. And this is the preparation step. And this is what you get to skip if you use a template. This will already be done in advance if you leverage a template. But since I'm uploading a file from my computer, we'll do this together. All you're realistically doing is dragging and dropping fields from the left-hand side of the screen into the document itself. This is what people are going to be filling out, or where people are going to be signing once this is sent out for signatures, right? So the contract requires an effective date. That's going to be the date when I sign. You can drag and drop these boxes to size. You can reduce the font size where necessary. You can make fields mandatory or optional. You can play obviously with the alignment, the date format. All the fields have a lot of customization in them. The recipient, that's going to be my colleague Paul, right? I'm going to drop his name in here. Again, drag to size, real simple. At the bottom, signature fields are required. I'll do a signature field for me, my name, and a text field for my title. You'll see that there's a ton of different field types. Everything that you could have in a form, we have a field type for, including things like images, attachments, if you want to collect documentation, even what we call secure fields, which will mask some information from the inputted value for highly compliant environments. If you're collecting social security numbers or passport numbers, credit card numbers, you can mask those from being able to be seen by people who may not have access to that information. All of that is there. Now I'm done with my fields. Now I'm going to go to Paul and do the same thing for him. As you can see, everything's color coded, so it's really easy to follow. Signer name and text field for his title. And maybe I'll just make this mandatory just to show you. And then once I'm ready and I'm happy with the fields that I've dropped in here, I can simply hit send. And in this last stage, I am just selecting one of my email templates, which is what myself, Paul, and Kai are going to be receiving as invitations in our email inbox to sign the agreement. If I click on this link, I will be brought back into the signature sequence now as a signer. Right now, this is the sender experience, right? Obviously, everything in here with eSign Business is fully customizable. eSign Essentials has a lot of limitations in terms of the fields that are available, the quantity of envelopes that you can send, the ability to customize the platform. Tons of limitations. Those are all gone with eSign Business. Now, if I just hit send, you'll see that now I get brought back here and I'm ready to sign. The timestamp that we put in here has auto-populated. If I just hit next or hit next required field or tab on my keyboard, I'll be brought to the next stage of signing. I have some additional sort of security settings that I like to use in my account. These are obviously all optional. And once I hit finish, I accept that electronic signatures and records are just as good as their paper equivalents, right? Click here to confirm. And now I've done my part of the process, and now this has gone out to Paul, right? Now, that was the signer experience. Let me show you sort of a completed document here so I can show you what happens when a document gets fully signed. Here we have a previous example of this sort of same type of document. And one thing that is really important is that the signature process is traceable, right? That you can look back at it and see exactly what happened, who signed, how, where, etc. So one thing that gets attached to every completed document, and a completed document, we also call it an executed document, is a document that has been signed by all parties that needed to sign, is that this signature certificate gets generated. And what this signature certificate does is it includes a lot of data about the signature process. Who created it? When? When was it completed? Which documents were included in the envelope? Who signed? From where? Which IP address? When? With which level of security? And then everything that happened to the agreement from when it was created to when it was completed, right? This is what makes the process really secure, really legally binding, and legally compliant, right? Now, this document here that I'm showing you can be attached to the bottom of the original document, or in my case, it can be added as a separate document within the envelope, right? And you can reference this in the future. We also have a lot of tools to get all these completed documents out of this platform and into whatever repository you use for your agreements, whether that's a local drive, a local computer, a SharePoint, anything like that, we have the ability to support. And then we have integrations with a lot of your technology stack. We integrate with Microsoft Outlook and SharePoint, like I said before, and Microsoft Teams, and a lot of other platforms that we can give you more information about if there are any questions. So that was sort of my 10-minute demo. I know that was about 12 minutes, so we have some time at the end for questions. Happy to take them now.
Thank you so much, Nicholas, and hello everyone. So yeah, we've got quite a few questions coming through, so I'll point it all to you. So starting off with Jim's question. So we are a public library. We currently use a competitor's PDF editor, and we have a couple of licenses on some public computers. I'm wondering if Foxit has perpetual licenses, licensed to the device and not an individual. With the public using the software, we can't have the license tied to a user's email address unless we can use a shared email address of the library. So what do you think of that?
Paul, that's a question for you.
Yeah. So the answer to the question is we have perpetual licenses. What we would recommend you do, because we have a separate sort of pricing list for not-for-profit organizations, and also, let's say, for educational organizations, which incorporates a lot more of the sort of the requirements that you have there. Now, I don't know the exact ins and outs of the latest one, but I know we did have per device sort of, let's say, tie-ins for those licenses as well too. So we will probably maybe get Kai to follow up on that one, or maybe we can get one of the sales guys to follow up with the latest up-to-date version of the pricing. But we did incorporate it in for not-for-profit pricing previously, and we do have perpetual licenses as well. Although the best pricing that we would sort of recommend for is normally for the subscription one, but it is available.
Thank you so much. On to Deb. So, does the PDF editor allow a user to convert an expense reimbursement form, currently a Word document, to an editable PDF?
Absolutely. So there is an integration for every Microsoft sort of application that you have installed on your desktop. So if you've got Word, if you've got Excel, you've got PowerPoint, even if you're using Microsoft Project or Visio, Foxit will install a Foxit integration for that application. So if the Word document is there and it's an expense form and you need to convert it to PDF, so I'll show you what it actually looks like very quickly. Hold on, I'll share my screen again. So this is what I mean. So this is just a Word file here. And so from here, then you can see there's an integration built into it. Okay, so will be installed for Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. So if you need to convert the Word document to a PDF, you can convert it to a PDF. If you need to convert it back, so we'll just go back into the PDF editor. then you'll just go into the convert ribbon, and there's a to MS Office option here. You can also use the export feature, which sits within the file menu from here. So if I need to export a PDF out, I've got this option available as well. You can also use sort of static forms into dynamic forms and back again as well too. So, but yeah, the answer to the question essentially is yes.
Wonderful. Thank you, Paul. There's a couple of questions which have been answered, but for those who are just on audio, people asking if licenses can easily be reassigned if a person leaves, and you confirm that in the chat, but that is correct for anyone on the audio today that you can reassign a license if someone
Yeah.
leaves. The next question is, we work with the visually impaired. Is Foxit accessible to screen readers specifically for document signing?
Yes, is the answer to the question. So there's a couple of caveats to that. So every web-facing application these days, there's different regulations for the different regions, but in Europe is Directive 2102. So again, I think if I show you the button quickly, it will make more sense. So everything has to be of a format which allows the visually impaired people to be able to engage with the actual electronic document. Otherwise, it's useless. So you can see here there's an accessibility tab on the Foxit ribbon here. This will allow me to water tag the document, and it'll allow me to run a full accessibility check on the document once it's been imported from a different format. So there's a setup assistant. So this will work with your assistive technology, let's say screen readers, etc. And we can also set the reading order and the alternate text in the area here. But essentially, this is what we would need to do here. So we'll set the options for the screen readers and the magnifiers from here. So that's where that functionality sits within Foxit. It sits within the accessibility ribbon.
Thank you very much, Paul. Okay. And so the next one is, next one is, can you bulk import into your contacts like via a CSV file?
Presume
Yes.
that's for the eSign. Yeah. So Nick, over to you.
Yeah, that's a key feature. During most migrations, that's one of the things that we do. We ask users to run a download of their CRM or their list of contacts or their Azure, and upload it as a CSV as contacts for Foxit. So they don't have to the frequent contacts don't have to be added one by one manually during signature processes.
Great. Thank you so much. And next question is, can you send documents? Can you send via SMS like in DocuSign?
Yes, that's another option. You can deliver the actual signature link via SMS as long as the contact has a phone number associated with them.
Wonderful. Thank you. So in eSign, I saw something about dependencies in the menu. Does that mean you can do something like checking a checkbox opens up other fields to be filled out that are ignored otherwise? That's from Andrea.
Correct. You can have dependent fields that only pop up if there's a specific preset value on another field. A very good use case for that is you may have a form that asks number of children, and then based on whatever that input is on that field, a number of text fields for names may pop up. If it's two fields pop up underneath, etc.
Great. Thank you. From Deb again. So does Foxit eSign work equally well across multiple multiple browsers? For example, Mac versus PC. Does it require disabling pop-up and content blockers?
Yes, I'm a Mac user myself. I use Chrome and Safari. My IT team hates it, but no, it works equally fine. It works equally fine also in phones and tablets, which is where I personally do most of my signing. So yeah, I mean, we test all browsers equally, and it runs everywhere.
Fantastic. And so is there the notion of documents that expire? Are there reminders that get sent?
Yes, you can do that in two ways. One, the account itself can send automatic reminders based on a preset schedule, or you can send manual reminders just by going to that documents waiting for other people to sign tab, picking the document that you want to send a reminder for, and clicking on the send reminder button.
Great. And what is the difference between envelopes included with the editor and the eSign package?
Well, Editor Plus includes 150 envelopes per user. We have that limit. eSign Business includes unlimited envelopes. eSign Business is more of our large organization, more enterprise, need more power, more set. So we just give unlimited throughput there. The envelopes themselves, I mean, if all you want to do is send one document for signing, there's no difference.
Wonderful. And so I've got a question here as well. So does Foxit have a tool to convert DocuSign templates to Foxit eSign templates?
Yes, during migration, you'll be able to download your DocuSign templates. I believe that's a JSON file. Not quite sure. And then yeah, we have an upload tool within Foxit eSign that allows you to drag and drop the file into Foxit eSign, and then it gets created automatically. It takes 5 seconds per template.
Great. Okay. So that's the Q&A section. I'm just checking to see if anything's come through. Um, okay, it looks like another one's popped through. So from Unity Foundry, the prices are $50 per PDF user, $120 for eSign user. Are those the prices through TechSoup?
Yeah, I can answer that. The normal price for the Foxit PDF Editor Plus is $159.99. And through TechSoup, by purchasing a coupon code from TechSoup, that price goes down from $159.99 to $49.99. So it's about 68% discount that nonprofits get. There's no limit to the number of licenses you can buy. One coupon code is enough. Or the only thing to be aware of is that the Foxit online store limits you to 30 licenses at a time. So if you, let's say you need 35, but the store only lets you buy 30. Well, not to worry, buy 30, then go back to your subscription just as though 6 months later you had hired a few people and you need to add licenses to the subscription. You can immediately log in and simply add to the existing subscription and grow it from there. Whether or not that's then 5 more or 30 more, even when you add, you're limited to 30. But let's say you need 65. Great, you do it one more time. So there's no upper limit. It's a little annoying that it's 30 at a time, but that is how it works. For the eSign business product, it's similar, except the limit there is 15, but the same rules apply. You can add more if you need more than 15. For the eSign product, it's a little different when it comes to cost. The commercial license for Foxit eSign Business is $300 per user per year. You have to buy 5 on the commercial side. So the TechSoup discount therefore has a double benefit. The cost goes down to $120, so about 60% discount, but also the minimum number of users goes down to 2. So instead of spending $1,500 as a commercial organization, you spend $240. So that's a pretty fantastic price.
Thank you very much, Kai. And for any of us using from the UK, all the details in terms of UK pricing, how much the UK coupon is on the TechSoup UK website. Also listed the discount rates as well. So for the UK users, visit TechSoup UK site and you'll be able to see the UK prices on there. So thank you very much for that, Kai.
Yeah.
And got one here as well. What's the rate for the next year renewal?
Same price. So you buy it for $49.99, and next year you'll renew it for $49.99. It's important to note that in order to renew it, you will need a new coupon code from TechSoup. Otherwise, the price increases to $159.99. So definitely grab that coupon code as part of the new renewal process. Same for the eSign product. The discounts continue, so there's no price increase in future years, as long as you keep going back to TechSoup to grab the coupon code from there.
Great. And I've just asked a question here from Michelle, just talking about the admin fee. So the admin fee covers the cost of the coupon. So with our access to discounted rate offers, such as Foxit, what that means is you pay the admin fee, in this case for the coupon code, and then you pay a discounted rate directly to Foxit there then. And the discount will vary depending on the product that you purchase there. So that's what the admin fee is for the coupon code. That's how much you pay for the coupon. So just check to see any more questions. You're welcome, Michelle. Let's have a look. So no more questions at the moment. think we've done well here. Okay, well, sounds like I think we could probably wrap up at this stage. So just like to say thank you all to Kai, Nicholas, and Paul, and also the production staff here at TechSoup to facilitate this wonderful webinar today. I hope you've all learned something about Foxit as well. Was there any sort of final comments you wanted to say, Kai, or the rest of the team?
No, I just want to thank everyone for joining. Thanks to Paul and Nick for the demos. Thanks to the TechSoup team for setting it all up. And if you need to reach us afterwards, always feel free to send email to nonprofit@foxit.com and we will answer your questions.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Kai, for seeing us out. And for everyone leaving now, please ensure to leave us some feedback as well to ensure that we can improve the quality of these webinars that we do. And again, thank you so much for joining us today. Have a
Thanks,
great rest of
everyone.
your day as well. Thank you now.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for your time, everyone. All the best now. Bye bye.